Welcome, everybody, to another episode of A Perfect Waste of Time, the monthly Casting for Two spin-off podcast thing. And this is the new episode for a new year. Hopefully everything's gone well and everybody had a good holiday season. As you know, this podcast revolves around not having any guests. There are absolutely no guests whatsoever. There's only friends. And my friend today is a constant source of inspiration, strength. I'm going to say beauty as well. I'm just going to throw all that in there because Erin Fein is here. Hello, Erin.
Hello. And not to correct you too soon, but my last name is actually pronounced Fine.
Fine. Erin Fein. You know what? I knew it. And I apologize. I apologize for that.
It is such a common mistake, and ultimately it doesn't really matter all that much.
It's, I thank you for taking pity on me, though. I appreciate that.
I only say it because, frankly, Fine just has just a little bit more of a ring to it than the other way to pronounce it. So
yeah,
it's really okay.
But I'm glad you can be here. I know that. Again, we were talking earlier, you're a busy person, busy individual, and I'm super excited to see what this podcast brings to us.
Yeah, me too. I'm very open to the experience.
Yes. Oh, and so for the people at home, of course, this is a podcast where I generate one topic, one question, one subject that we may both know, one of us might know, or none of us might know. And so for today, I'm going to use the subject picker 9000. Ooh, okay, this is a pretty good one for you.
Okay.
Not for me, for you. No, no. So the question to this month is, would you rather lose all your memories or never be able to make new ones?
Ooh. Wow. Okay, let me think about that. Would I rather lose all my memories or never be able to make new ones? So I'm going to dive deep, meaning if I was able to make new ones, at the very least, from this moment forward, I could start kind of recreating a memory bank.
I think so. Yeah.
So there would be some history that would develop again.
Right.
Gosh, it's tough.
I mean, I'm just kind of thinking, there goes the childhood.
Right. Yeah. This kind of may be interesting to speak about from a psychological perspective, since now I have a master's degree in psychology and that's become a big part of my world. And I think my nostalgic heart wants to hold on to the memories that I have. But I think knowing as much as I do know about how our past impacts our present, and sometimes in a very, unfortunately, hurtful way, I have a genuine interest in what it would be like to kind of get to start fresh,
right,
as a clean, with a clean slate, with a clean palette, and be able to kind of see what that's like, especially from where I stand today as an adult, as opposed to a little tiny girl.
Right. Because it's interesting that you say, because yes, I agree with all of that. I'm just wondering what kind of person would we be if we didn't have that, the past experiences, the past whatever. What would you'd be like? No, I don't want to say anything bad, or an empty shell. You're just you're essentially back to being a baby, just okay, hi. I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to think about it. Does this mean that you would have to learn how to walk and talk all over again? Right. Or is this okay, those of course, right. I analyze everything to like a very finite detail, but I think, there's something there around, it would be interesting to learn.
Yeah.
Like how much of an impact our genetics would have as far as, I feel like that's a question that, we're always kind of wondering what plays a greater role, kind of nature or nurture, and that's an interesting question that comes up in psychology and in my mind. And if you lost all of your memory, it would be, if you could even have perspective on who you were versus who you became, that would be like the ultimate experience to see, how much nature actually comes through anyways, regardless of this whole new set of circumstances,
Right. And, I'm just kind of wondering, okay, so me right now, not so good at math, but me rebirthed, quote unquote, reborn Chris, like, would I have that potential to be good at math, or is that just, like you said, like a genetic thing where, right, whatever, who cares?
Sort of rolls for it. Yeah, I think my instinct is to believe that if in your rebirth, as you called it, if you got the opportunity to surround yourself with supportive math teachers and tutors and really immerse yourself in a way that you, for example, might not have gotten as a child. I know for me with math, my parents kind of proclaimed themselves also to be not very good at math. And then sure enough, right, my brothers and I kind of had that same notion about ourselves. And then years later, when I went back to school, I wasn't doing anything really high level, but I did like an advanced algebra and a statistics class. And I was working with a tutor because it had been a long, long time. And I remember the tutor said to me, I get this impression that you think you're really bad at math. And I was like, you don't say. Yes, I do feel that way about myself. And he was like, but, I'm teaching with you and I'm seeing you understand the concepts and be able to apply it really well. And he was like, you're actually not bad at math. And it really made me thoughtful, like, God, how much of like the ideas about who we are stem from, our parents and the experiences that we have. And, psychologically speaking, a lot of us psychotherapists, tend to believe that has a huge impact on the notions we have about ourselves. So, right, it would be cool to get to create new memories, but also have the knowledge that, like, the adult presence of mind to get to be really intentional about how we do it.
Right.
That would be cool. And I don't know, is that a part of the rules? I don't know.
Well, no, it's just interesting because, for the longest time, I've always kind of felt not like I'm a black sheep or, like an outsider in my family, but I do wonder, like, oh, where did I get this from? Where did I get that from? Like, where did I learn that? And part of that was schooling, because growing up, I always felt like I wasn't the smartest or best in certain subjects. And, my sister, who I call the rock star of the family, because she was older. And I always just kind of, and now that she has kids, I'm like, where in, she has two kids. They're both wonderful. They're both rock stars in my book. But her oldest, her son, is just so smart, and I'm just like, where did this come from? Why didn't I get this? It skipped me. What's going on here? And so, and just kind of thinking about it, like, and just like, who got these tendencies, these abilities, I just think it'd be fun to have it'd be fun to see, okay, you have a blank slate, and now let's see, would I go down the certain same tendencies, or would I just be something totally different?
Yeah, it would really, really, really be an interesting, like, social and personality experiment. And I definitely, would have so much curiosity about the same type of thing. Like, why do I think about myself in this way? And if I got to create new memories and new experiences, would my would my perception of myself and even the way that I see myself as intelligent or not intelligent, like, would that change? And I have to believe that the answer is, at least to a degree, yes. I really do. But I'm so minded psychologically because of my education and probably just the way that I am interested in the world, to believe that while genetics and epigenetics have a real serious place in people's life and personalities, that are like experiential world has a huge impact. It's so hard to know how much though, know, but I think we know enough to be able to confidently say that, the experiences and we have the memories that we hold, they create, neural pathways that lead to ideas and notions about ourselves in the world that, really do shape who we are. So I'm really nostalgic. So it's hard for me to ever imagine choosing letting go of my past. And yet the thing that, the hack that came up for me when you asked the question too, is that theoretically, at least for those people that are still alive, right, and photos and videos, I could ask people like, hey, can you kind of reload my memory? Like, what was our childhood like? Where did I live? And I feel like I could at least get some of it back. Whereas if I could never make a new memory, I mean, you would be kind of unendingly stuck in that bracket of time forever.
Right. And I'm not playing devil's advocate or anything like that, but me personally, as somebody who has been grasping onto because I'm somebody who lives in the past. I just am. I try to move forward, but for some reason I just kind of think about certain things, and then I'm just like, Mom, man. And it makes me sad, but still, I just like the experiences that I've had, up to today. And I'm just like, do I really? It'd be interesting to let that go, but also I don't think I can. I'd be like, this is the thing that's been driving me. I don't know if I can just let that go.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's just because you feel really attached to the way you operate?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the even though it's been a lonely experience, it's been the thing that has been motivating me as far as, things like creativity. This podcast would not exist without that. Me just needing something to do, some creative outlet. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I could.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's hard. I wonder how people feel. I guess you would really get a different answer depending on the person, but despite some of the like notable losses and hardships that I've been through, I'm 42 now. And so I find myself at this, kind of midpoint, hopefully. And yeah, I wouldn't want things to change. I wouldn't want things to really change. So it would be also hard to let those drivers of my own creativity and personality that, make me feel like I know who I am and that I have some kind of place in the world. It would be really devastating to have that disappear and to just be this, like you said, I think you said a shell.
Yeah. And you just got your master's, it's like,
that would really suck.
I just worked so hard, got this master's, and now I gotta forget it. Well,
you know what? You have a really good point. And I'm in like a fair amount of student debt, and I gotta tell you, it really sucked to have to go back into debt again all over again.
It's like, so I got this master's thing. I guess I'll have to do it again. Okay,
right.
I guess
if the diploma, it's It's on the wall, but I don't know what I learned or what it even means.
But you know what? I'm here for you, whoever, whatever. I will,
Right.
sir. I will. You can be a patient, sure. Why not?
Oh my, that's so
I
funny.
mean,
Yeah, I
sorry, just like at least when you're helping somebody, at
mm,
least there would be zero. I mean, I don't know how you operate, of course, but there would be zero, um, like, uh, what, like you'd be super neutral because there's just nothing there. You're just like, I'm literally just listening to you, sir or ma'am.
yeah. It would help you to achieve like a superhuman level of neutrality that
Yeah.
we will. There's I'm sure. Well, I wonder how much people think about this stuff, but therapists definitely, as a rule, work really hard to explore their biases
Mm-hmm.
and really, have them very well familiar with what they are
Mm-hmm.
and learn to be, just really cognizant of them and curious about if someone comes into a session to work with you
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they have a stance that is difficult for you or offensive to you, like, really asking yourself, is this something I can kind of work through and still be there for this person in whatever need it is that they have? And they ethically, our sort of, our code of ethics asks us to, when we feel that way, to do consultation and to really get other people's opinions so that we can make a good decision about like how can I handle my bias or this sort of feeling of lack of neutrality. So there's protocol for what to do, but I bet that the memory loss would be the best the best approach.
Well, so during COVID, I did finally do therapy, and it was wonderful. It was like
Oh,
it was one of the things that I was so ready to do, and
oh,
I feel like I didn't know this was a thing, but I definitely what like trauma dumped, just like because I'm
mm,
so overly excited, and now I'm just like I'm sorry, I feel bad, but just kind of thinking about the biases and things like that.
yeah.
Um, I it was through a program that really wasn't that great,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting charged for not even for regardless of whether I saw the therapist or not, and she was just saying we should go to like every other week. And I was just like, I don't want to be charged every week though if I'm not going to see you.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to get out.
Yeah.
But then years later, I went looking because I even forgot her name and all of that. And
Mm.
I was able to find her name, find who she was, where she was, and I didn't do like a deep dive. It's just like a LinkedIn page,
Okay.
and I was just like, oh, she works like at a church and is very
Mm,
like in that
mm,
community. And then I started
yeah.
thinking, did I say anything that um offended her, or like where she was like, oh man, this guy, jeez. And then which if I did, I'm sorry. Look, I'm not crazy about Texas, everybody knows that. But
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I understand that thought. I really do.
so
I mean, I've had that thought with my own therapist. Like there
mm,
are certain, political opinions or stances
mm,
that I have that, I don't know if my therapist holds those same beliefs.
mm,
But having become a therapist myself, what I know is that, and of course, right, we have these ideals, and not everybody is able to live up to them. But as a rule, if a therapist does, for example, encounter like a subject matter that's triggering or
mm,
difficult for them, and they kind of come to realize, you know what, I won't be the best fit for this person. What you're meant to do is, actually let your client know, like,
mm,
there's something that's coming up that's a little difficult for me, and I don't know if I'll be the best fit. And then it's called the rule of three,
mm,
where you give them three referrals for
mm,
therapists you know a little bit about their background, and you know that, for example, maybe they're not religious, and that wouldn't be a difficult touch point. And you make sure that they're set up with 3 referrals so that they have a good like landing pad to go on to the next. Because it does happen. Therapists do get triggered. They do sometimes feel like a client is not the right fit for them for whatever reason. So I'd like to think that if your therapist never brought it in, that they were okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. Never brought it in, and just super appreciative to this day. That
it really does help. It really does make a difference.
Yeah, and my sister also has her master's in psychology, so.
Oh, that I didn't know. Is
Yeah.
she also a therapist, or she does something different?
No, she works in PR.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Does she feel like her psychology degree has like an impact on her PR world?
Maybe what really did was because she wanted to be a school counselor, so she was a teacher.
Got it.
And I felt like it helped her in that way. But the teaching part, I feel like, helps her more for the PR, in the sense that she can wrangle people, and
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, no, it's just so funny that it's all a circle, and I feel like they all inform everything in one way or another.
Yeah, 100%. When I went back to school, I'd done like I think I'd done 2.5 years of college at the beginning, when I was actually sort of quote unquote college age.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I fell in love in a deep, deep way, as you know, with music.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I toured, really consistency in about 3 different projects or maybe 4 different projects, actually, really, for like 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really long time. And, music, I just became so fused with that vision of myself that for the longest time, it was hard to imagine going back to school. And then at a certain point, I realized, the winds of change are blowing for various reasons. And when I went back, I was trying to figure out basically how can I get a bachelor's degree as fast as possible so that I could get to the business of what I really wanted to do, which was the master's in psychology. Mm-hmm. And it's actually in Texas. My brother, who works at the University of North Texas, told me about a bachelor's completion program that they had that was, pretty affordable, and you could, get kind of a practical degree and just jump in there and get it done. And so I wound up getting a degree in sort of like organizational design and business and marketing. It was interesting. It wasn't anything I would have normally chosen for myself, but I recognize that there's a lot of psychology that shows up in those spaces, although I feel like they use psychology mostly to market things to people, and it's pretty dark.
Right. Right.
But, if you're studying behavior, I mean, anything, if you're studying human behavior, anything that humans are doing, it's relevant,
Right. Yeah. Well, and again, it's what I said earlier, it's all connected in some weird way, for better or for worse. It's all connected.
It's all connected. You are correct. You are correct. Even our memories, and without our memories, there's got to be something deeper that's weaving us together,
Exactly. But so for the people at home who would like to keep up with you, throw a follow your way, all that good stuff. Where can they do all that?
Yeah. I still, although my relationship with music has changed, I still, consider myself an active musician, and really hope to release music next year. I have about 15 songs that are mixed and ready to go. So yeah, if there's a human out there that wants to know me as my music self, it's a project called Psychic Twin, as Chris knows. Been very supportive, and the Instagram handle is Psychic Twin, and I'm out there. I'm out there.
Out there, yeah, and with Vespa, with little Vespa,
Yeah.
with little Vespa along the way.
Yeah, my doggy pal has definitely become a real mascot for in my life.
You know what? As all dogs should be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. My girlfriend and I got a rescue a little over a year ago, and yeah, I'm just like, you need to be the mask. You need to be the new casting for two. You can take over for me if you want. And she's like, I don't feel like it. I'm like, all right, fair enough. Well,
I did ask Vesper if she wants to run some of my therapy sessions.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like that would be the best. Like, who wouldn't?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll spill my guts out to a dog any day.
Who would not want to talk to a dog? I feel like a lot of people prefer talking to a dog than they would a human.
Yeah, I see those memes of, person at a party and, they're all gathered except this one person who's hanging out with the pets. I'm like, yeah, that's me for sure. I just like, let me hang out with the pets, with the dogs.
It really helps. It helps me socialize as well. Truly. It helps.
Exactly.
Having a dog helps me meet people. I feel like I can talk to people more easily when I'm walking her. It's opened so many social doors for sure.
There's a thing that dog owners get, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just like, okay, oh, they're on the same level. Okay. And then, yeah, there's just that instant connection of, oh man, picking up poop, right? Okay, bye,
There really is an understanding. I appreciate the connection you brought in around what it means to go around picking up poop every day of your life.
Yeah.
I would say there's also the aspect of like the warmth and soulful connection that you have with a dog that I think I really see it showing up in people's personalities. And so I actually dated somebody recently, a couple people in the last few years who weren't really into dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to roll with it, to be like, hey, right? Not everyone's into dogs, not everyone's into cats, not everyone's into animals. I tried to be open, but in the end, when I look back on like the feeling and the feel, I guess, of these people, wonderful people in so many ways, but yeah, I know I could feel that they weren't dog people, and that did kind of suck. And if they ever listen to this, sorry, both of you know that I feel this way, so it's okay.
There's something that, and I apologize for this portion of this chat, but let's be real. Dog poop is not the same as human poop. It's not that bad. It really isn't. So
not at all. Very different.
Yeah, people freak out about it. I'm just like, grow up, okay? Because it's really not bad, and you got the baggie, boom, boom, done and done. All right, let's keep walking.
Yeah, it's rare that it's kind of gross, and it does happen. And that happens maybe once a year. The rest of it is like you barely even notice what. Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you have
not everybody.
Yeah, again, we're just on a different level, and people don't understand us, but that's okay. Well, people do, but it's just that's why dog owners are they're good people because they know, they get it.
I would tend to agree, and not trying to, pun intended, dog the last two people that I dated. But I recognize now that I really want to be dating people who are dog people. Yeah. I think that might have officially gone on my list of deal breakers. Mm-hmm. So
I agree. And the easiest way to tell a dog person is if the person, you see the dog come up to a person, if they call that dog a puppy, then I'm like, oh, okay, they're a dog person. Because to a dog person, every dog is a puppy. It doesn't matter how big they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a good indicator if they're immediately like, ooh, look at this dog. I'm like,
Yep. Yep. You're like, not one of us.
No, but you have this, like 10-year-old dog walking up, and like, oh, look at this big puppy, and like, yes, this is a puppy still at 10 years old. I have to feed him those chews that help his hips, but you know what? He is still a puppy.
That's right. Forever a puppy. Yeah, you know what? Not that I have any pressure to circle back around on our topic, but
Yeah.
it made me think that I think I would be so sad to have forgotten about my former.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a tough loss.
Yeah, no, I can't. I have a hard time talking about the pets that I've had in the past because they just meant so much. But again, like, yeah, I don't want to forget any of them. And again, for this reborn person, I what if he's reborn as a cat lover? Like, no, that's not. I can't do that. I really can't do that. I'm allergic to cats, but also I don't know. No offense to cat people. I just feel like they're sinister, like they're trying to plot against me at all times. So can't do it.
Personality. So true. It's true. They're really, I do think there is a distinct energetic, for lack of a better word, like energetic difference between cat people and dog people.
Yes. That's why I'm like, I'll stick to dogs. That's okay.
Old memories and your dog loving self intact.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't need math. It's fine.
Exactly. You've come this far, Chris.
Yeah. You know what? There was one year I forgot how old I was. Best year ever because I was like, oh, I gained another year. Okay, cool. I was 34 for 2 years.
Is that true?
Yeah, I legit thought I was 34 when I was 33. And
that is so
yeah, look, COVID was wild.
I'll do that this year. I think I will do that this year.
Yeah, just genuinely forget your age and then be like, oh, at least I didn't, I got that year back. Okay, let's go do what I was gonna do.
I'd love to take a year back. I'd like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna experiment with that in 2025.
Perfect. You know what? If there's ever a time to do it, it would be 2025.
And that is for sure. What are we in store for? What are we in store for?
But anyway, Erin, thank you so much for chatting with me. Again, like, you're one of my favorite people, and I'm just so appreciative that I know you and I get to chat with you, and that you exist. Period.
Chris, that is such an incredibly kind thing to say. Our connection over the years and your warmth and support has meant and continues to mean so much to me. I love that we keep in touch a lot through Instagram and send sweet messages and just kind of encourage each other along the way. That's like, for whatever people say about social media and how it's destroying us, which, it is.
Yes, for sure.
It is. And I see how if you can get like a reasonable relationship with it, it is such connector. And I recognize a lot of people from my music life and all those years of touring, like I wouldn't know them or be able to stay in touch without, for me, Instagram. And that I'm very grateful for. And with that, I'm very grateful for you.
No. It's, I mean, look, it's all mutual. And yeah, again, I said this podcast wouldn't exist. And, talking about the headlights, that was just one of the things that I was like, I need to talk to this band. I need to find out who is in this band, and I need to track them down and get them on the podcast. And then in my wildest dreams, it happened. So it was just like, maybe I can keep going. So
that is just such a good memory, and good to know that you think about it that way. And it's been such a while for me since that project was something that existed. It's nice to be reminded of some of those good memories.
Of course. Well, again, I have so many good things to say about you and to you, but I think I need to stop. But again, you're always going to be a good memory of mine, and I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep
Thank
staying
you.
safe and healthy, and give Vespa a hug for me.
I will. She's sending you a little snuggle through the airwaves right now.
Oh, she's so cute. But yes, I'll let you go. And again, yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.